This is something that's weirdly become a main topic in the hobby. But who are the good guys? Who are the bad guys? TLDR, it's complicated. We're going to get into it. But before we get into it, if you guys could hit the like and subscribe. This video is sponsored by me. We're nearly close to monetization. I want to release some merch. If you guys are into that, leave a comment as well. I'll catch you guys in the video. First up, we have the Imperium of Man. The good guys, right? Right? The colossal, galaxy-expanding empire that claims to be humanity's only hope for survival. On paper, they're the defenders of mankind. They're the main characters, the ones holding out the line against genocidal aliens, demonic horrors, and existential threats to humanity. Sounds kind of noble, but let's look a little closer. The Imperium is a theocratic dictatorship ruled by the decaying bureaucracy and fanatical devotion to the God Emperor of mankind. Sounds a bit like heresy there. God Emperor. They're xenophobic to an extreme, committing genocide against entire alien species on principles. They enslave trillions of their own citizens, enforce brutal religious orthodoxy, and will happily purge innocent people, often literal billions of them. If there's even a whisper of chaos corruption, and let's not forget about psychers, who are sacrificed daily by the thousands to keep the Emperor's shattered body barely functioning. Despite all of this, the Imperium does fight to protect humanity. They stand against chaos, the Tyranids, and other forces that would annihilate or enslave the species outright. So are they the good guys? Maybe if the only metric is species survival of mankind? Maybe. For everyone else, life under the Imperium is pretty dog shit. Second up, we've got the Eldar. The Eldari are often compared to space elves. They're a tragic race, once rulers of the galaxy. Their own hubris and hedonism created Slanesh, the god of excess. Now, they're fractured and declining people fighting for survival against impossible odds. Sounds sympathetic, right? You gotta feel bad for them in a bit. The Craft World Eldari, the most traditional faction, focus on preserving their race and combating chaos. Sometimes they even save human lives, particularly if it serves their larger goals. That sounds noble until you realise that the Eldari view other species, including humans, as expendable tools. They'll sacrifice entire planets without hesitation to save a handful of their own. Literally, like, blow up an entire planet if it saves one of their own. Their arrogance knows no bounds, and they'll be known to manipulate and betray allies for their own benefits. There's also the Harlequins, who work to preserve the Eldari's culture and spiritual legacy, and the Ynnari, who seek to awaken the god of death, Yned. As a final hope against chaos, while their goals might seem noble, their methods are anything but. Are the Eldari the good guys? Probably not at all. They're tragic, yes, but their selfishness and elitism makes them hard to be the good guys. The Tau! I'm looking at you, communists. Ah, the Tau Empire, often called the brightest faction in Warhammer 40k. They're young, optimistic, and focusing on uniting the galaxy under one banner for the greater good. Unlike the Imperium, they actually seem interested in diplomacy and cooperation, allowing other species to join the Empire, instead of exterminating them outright. But before you grab the Tau Codex and become a full hammer and sickle communist and start feeling hopeful, let's examine the fine print. The Tau's greater good is a collective ideology where individuality takes a back seat to the needs of the Empire. If you join willingly, great. If you resist, the Tau have no problem re-educating you in their versions of dystopian brainwashing camps. Now, for those who resist too much, well, then you're probably just dead. Again, here, right? Communism hasn't worked in the Western in the world. Despite their flaws, the Tau are one of the most oppressive factions in the race. Despite their flaws, the Tau are one of the least oppressive factions in the galaxy, and they genuinely want peace and progress, even if their methods are questionable. So, are they the good guys? Kind of, but only like in comparison to how shit it's gonna get. Orcs. Let's take a detour into the chaotic hilarity of the Orcs. They're green-skinned brutes and are not interested in morality, politics, or even galactic conquest. They're in it for one good thing. One good thing, right? A good fight. Orcs are driven by their love for violence and a simple, almost childlike joy for smashing shit. Unlike other factions, the Orcs don't fight for malicious intent or survival. They fight because it's fun. In a bizarre way, they're almost innocent. Sure, their constant warring makes the galaxy a nightmare for anyone else, but they're not actively trying to be evil. They're not trying to see the world burn. They're just orcs being orcs. Are the orcs the good guys? No, but they're not malicious either. If you don't have to run into them, better. The Necrons. The Necrons are the ancient race of the 40k universe. They're soulless, robotic warriors who once ruled the entire universe. After a millennia of slumber, they've awoken and reclaimed the galaxy. Most Necron dynasties view other life beneath them and want to exterminate or enslave everyone. Like, picture this. If there was a race that was living under the water all this time that then came to life and saw that humans had become the primates, the top echelon of class. Man, my Tourette's is real bad today. Then they would want to wipe us out instantly. That's all the Necrons are. However, there's a twist. Some Necron leaders, like the Silent King, regret their past atrocities. They recognize the threat of chaos and Tyranids and seek to unite the galaxy to stop them. Whilst their motivations are self-serving, they're at least willing to cooperate. Sometimes. Are the Necrons the good guys? No, absolutely not. But there are hints of redemptions in some of their characters, which make it a bit more nuanced than pure evil. Now, let's get to the factions that are unequivocally not the good guys. Not the bad guys, kind of the bad guys. I play World Eaters, so death to the false god, maybe we're the good guys. Good and bad goes beyond morality. Friedrich Nietzsche, read it. Now let's look at the factions that are unequivocally not the good guys. The Tyranids are ravenous swarms of bioengineered organisms that exist solely to consume all biomass in their path. They have no culture, no morality, no goals beyond devouring everything. There's no reasoning with them, no hope of diplomacy. They're ultimately the existential threat and one day will probably rule the universe. Then there's Chaos. It's the four dark gods: Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle, Slaanesh. Chaos thrives on corruption, suffering and excess. Its followers willingly embrace damnation in exchange for power, and often causing unimaginable destruction in the process. Chaos represents everything that's wrong with the galaxy, and its influence is insidious and pervasive. Are Tyranids or Chaos the good guys? No, they're probably the closest to the bad guys. So, who are the good guys? Like I said earlier, the answer depends on your perspective. If you value humanity's survival above all else, the Imperium are the good guys. They're the main characters. They're the stories, what we're going to hear. It's kind of like the history is always written by the victor. So therefore, the Imperium, the good guys, right? They seem to inevitably always win. The towers seem promising. If you just want to root for the least malicious faction, maybe you side with the Orcs. But the truth is, in the Warhammer 40k setting, and this is what's so baffling to everyone that's come into the hobby recently, there is no true hero. Every faction's flawed. They're also irredeemable. They could come good. There's redemption stories like we heard. That's what makes the universe so compelling. It's not about good versus evil, but survival versus annihilation, often at the cost of one's soul. So which faction do you guys call the good guys? Leave a comment below. Don't forget, hit the like, subscribe. Helps me out a lot. We're nearly monetized. We're getting there. Because in the 41st millennium, there's nothing but war and bad guys. Catch you in the next one. Catch ya.